Okay, Archi Hacks fam, we have a question for you. How do you take care of yourself while working remote? We know this topic may be long overdue, but it's still an important conversation among our team. The reason being is that we're made of passionate professionals spanning across multiple time zones while juggling our full-time career. So learning how to take care of ourselves is pretty important, and that's why we want to share these tips with you, and maybe you can share some tips with us. It's no surprise this should be the first and foremost tip we're going to talk about today, and that's creating some separation from your work. And not just a physical separation, but now kind of creating a dedicated workspace that you can mentally switch from this is my work zone and this is my personal living space. I think that's the one thing that I miss about going to class or going to work, is having that mental disconnect from leaving my space and going to another space to work, and vice versa when I come back home. And just in general, with the rise of COVID-19 cases, it's pretty hard to find a safe and reliable space, just not from years previous, but still ongoing. And so we highly encourage that if you are able to have this option, make a dedicated office for yourself. And I know that it can be challenging for some, but another kind of idea that you can choose is to create your personal workstation. And as you amazing, wonderful designers that we know you are, there's a lot of ways that you can kind of create a soft boundary to separate your spaces. If you look behind me, I have these black shelving here, and I'm tucked my table to the corner so that I have this back and this corner. So now I kind of create this like little cubicle space zone that I know this is for my work. Whereas to my right is more my personal living spaces and where I sleep in my bedroom. I also like to point out that sometimes you don't really need hard furniture like I do to create separation, or let's say you're given space a little too small to really create that physical separation. There are a lot of items and things that you use to create a soft boundary, like maybe putting tape on the ground to be saying like this is your office, or you can use lighting to really help make you know that this is a workstation. Like I have my control here that controls my light, and if I don't want to work anymore, I'll turn off my light. And can you imagine if I work like this? Like I really wouldn't be motivated and I'll just get tired right away. But luckily I have these lights, and really it brightens up my corner where I work and say, okay, now it's a work time. This is the time that I need to work. If you already had a chance to set up your own work corner or station, or even set up your own dedicated office, we would love to hear how you use some of your items or things to create a soft boundary and see how you work. And for those who didn't start, maybe they could use our tips or even your tips in the comments below to set up their own work corner or station, whichever the space allows. So another tip we're going to talk about today is setting your work times. I think it's quite easy to say that, with remote work, our work periods have become more flexible, especially with the rise of freelancers, content creation. We're just kind of slowly starting to set our own hours, still within abiding, whether it's school or work, there's still some kind of time that you are all working together. But for the most part, it's pretty loose now more than ever. Setting work times is important for you and your relationships with people. You just don't want to end up working all the way throughout the night and you don't have time set for your friends and family, and vice versa, you don't have any time for you to rest. Now you want to treat yourself like a business. When do you start work? When do you stop working? When do you stop responding to emails? And having that important conversation with your managers, saying like, hey, I will not respond to emails past a certain point. It's natural to leave it unassumed when you're working that you won't respond to emails or they'll just send emails whenever, but it is an important conversation that you have to lay out to your managers, saying, what is the expected timeline? Because these are my boundaries and I'm not trying to work past that. Speaking of setting work times, I've been utilizing a free software called Grindstone Tracker, and it helps me track how much time I spent doing a certain task or a certain project. This kind of lays out how much time I need to complete something and how much time that I could finish something in the appropriate time, so I'm not cutting close to when I cut off or pushing my hours later into the evening just so I can finish a task. Grindstone Tracker is a great way to visualize how much time you're putting something away, but the unique thing about it, you could also set break times. So you can set maybe you've been working for an hour, Grindstone will remind you to say, hey, you just worked an hour. Maybe you want to take a 15-minute break or maybe a 10-minute break. And that's a really neat feature that I enjoy a lot with Grindstone Tracker. And the user interface is super simple. And I guess I want to point out another feature in Grindstone Tracker that I love is that when you start a project task, you can write in your notes saying like, hey, I just finished this, or hey, I'm just going to start working on this. And so right when you end it, there's another window that could pop up and say, hey, what do you want to add to this or edit? And you could rewrite what you wrote earlier and say, when you started this and now you completed it. So when you look back at your schedule, you could say, oh, what did I do for Monday at this time? You can go through Grindstone Tracker and check your notes and see what you actually did. Okay, so the next tip we kind of have to help yourself take care of you while working remote is just having a good workstation setup and a desk. Why? Because again, like I said in the beginning of the video, hybrid or remote style is here to stay, and you're gonna want to invest in a really good space, you know? And more specifically, a standing desk. I think it's a great investment, and actually I'm using one right now, and I'm using the stand up to record and talk to you about these tips, which is kind of fun and ironic in the same kind of world. And you know, research has linked that long durations to sitting down can lead to a lot of health problems that we don't want down the line. That's why we're advocating for standing desk in general, because it does help us, you know, stand, or we could choose to sit down and we just have to press the remote and it lowers. And it's hard, and it's not a secret that like the traditional 9-to-5 kind of working style that architects typically find themselves, or designers, kind of lead us to having that, you know, sitting down for 8 hours a day. And so it's hard to find that time to really stand up, move around, do physical besides after work. So standing desk is kind of a great in between of having the opportunity to sit down and work, but you know, for a few hours, you can stand up for 30 minutes and that will really improve your posture and just overall health. So speaking of standing desks, today we actually partnered up with a brand called SOLOS, and they sent me their quick install home office standing desk. And man, I can't wait to tell you about it. I mean, when I first got it, I thought it was gonna be a complicated process to set up, because when you think of standing desk, you just think about all the parts that go into standing desk. You're just like, is this gonna be like an IKEA furniture that just like, it's complicated? The instruction manual is like a thick book. But you know, it was the complete opposite. When I first got the SOLOS desk, when I opened the box, it was only 5 main pieces and then maybe 2 of the wires and cables. I mean, literally 2 pages long, like front and back, one 11 by 17, like it's super simple and clear how you set up the desk. In the video, you'll notice that I lifted the desk on my own, but it is a little on the heavier side, so grab anyone you can nearby to help you if you are having trouble, just so you don't damage the table overall. But because it's a heavy weight, the amazing thing about the table is it has a huge lifting capacity, about 110 pounds. It's lifting my table perfectly, from my work monitor to my laptop to my additional monitor to the arm that SOLOS also included in the package, and my 2 lighting, my camera equipment, and my mic. You could just know that it's a lot of equipment on this table, and it moves so smoothly up and down, and it's so quiet. Like, I'm pretty sure you can't even hear it when I move down or up. And it's a smooth transition from the camera. You could just tell it's smooth. Everything comes in the package and it's super straightforward to put together, and it's great. I mean, IKEA furniture, SOLOS, quick install office desk. I mean, like, it's no brainer there. And the desk size itself is about 48 inches wide and about 24 inches deep. So it's a really good working space to work with. SOLOS also included their premium monitor stand along with the standing desk for us to review. And man, you can tell the construction on this thing. It's aluminum and it's heavy. Each arm could hold between maybe a 17-inch up to a 13-inch computer monitor, and that's roughly about 16 pounds. And we're pretty happy partnering up with them, so make sure you go to their site by clicking the link in the description below. And if you were to purchase anything, make sure to use our code at YouTube Archi to get a $20 coupon off at SOLOS. And the next tip we're going to talk about is proper lighting. Proper lighting is super important to visual health, especially looking at screen all day long, it's definitely going to create some tension and fatigue on your eyes. And sometimes that strain can cause a headache. So we want to mitigate any problems with your visual health by having good lighting. Like, can you imagine if I just worked with one light like this? It's not going to be that great, or maybe that light, or no light at all. It's definitely going to create some fatigue, especially looking at the screen all day long. And obviously this is a little bit extreme because you might have a table lamp or more another light source nearby, but having a quick light on your desk, kind of what I mentioned earlier, to create that pocket of space for your workstation, it's pretty important. And you also want to invest in some blue light glasses. These will save your eyes. I think when I first started working my full-time career remote, I didn't really have a set of blue light glasses, and day in, day out from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I was looking at my computer screen and I was curious why I wasn't getting feeling restful when I slept, or why I was getting headaches when I was working. And it's just a lot of light coming into your eyes. So you want to put on your blue light glasses to save your eyes. And I know this is going to save your eye health in the future. We just want to protect you guys when you get to that point where it's like, I should have listened to Archi Hacks when they told me to invest in the blue light glasses. Now we're saying it. Alright, Archi Hacks fam, I have another question for you. Have you ever made a sound getting out from a chair and it's like, oh, my back? Have you ever thought it was just getting to old age that your back is hurting? I assure you, it's probably not due to old age, and it's probably because your chair is not offering you enough back support. Back support is really important for a professional or a student because you're sitting in this contraption for 8 hours a day, non-stop, day after day, and hopefully you'll be able to use our tip to get out and walk or take a nap, but majority of the time you're in this chair. And before I had this chair sponsored by FlexiSpot, I had a great minimally designed chair that fit my aesthetic in my office, but day in, day out, I kept getting up and hurting my back, or when I would go work out, I felt a huge lower back strain, and I was just so confused, and I thought it was me that I was getting older. I was like, is this it? Am I getting older? And then I got this chair and I realized, no, it's not because of my age, it's because I just didn't have enough back support. And today we partnered with FlexiSpot, and they went ahead and sent me their SOLOS ergonomic office chair for us to review. And we got the gray version here. Let me go ahead and turn around so you can see the gray. And just like the SOLOS desk, I'm so happy that we're partnering up with FlexiSpot because this chair is so comfortable, and I finally realized the pure difference between having a good looking chair and a ergonomic chair. My back has been saved and I'm so comfortable at work. This chair is so comfortable that I almost fell asleep here and took a nap during work. I'm sorry you see this or not, but for most people, this chair is an absolutely back saver. Just leaning back, it just helps. They have a lower back support, so you're not fully just straight in your back, and it's just a really nice cushion and comfortable. So overall, with our two partnerships, SOLOS standing desk and FlexiSpot ergonomic chair, my body is so relieved, and my physical health has never been better. It's just amazing what these two investments or these little items on your day-to-day workstation can really help you on. And my body is extremely happy. I'm trying to hit my fitness goals for 2022. So these two items, perfect. So if you're interested in the SOLOS ergonomic office chair by FlexiSpot, go ahead and click the link in the description below and get one of these bad boys. And ultimately, all the tips that we talked about today, and each and every one, our team members use it, and it's great for our personal health. And I honestly cannot stress enough about having a great workstation and just really taking the time and invest in great quality products, because the difference is huge. As designers, we always thought about thinking of a design or aesthetic, but for this case, I think it's okay to find a compromise between function and design, so that way you're protecting your future health. Thank you for watching our video today. If you liked the video, go ahead and press the like button just for our algorithm. And if you like our channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And as always, until I see you next time.